All right, guys, today we're going to be working on ELA. So as a reminder, we have parent conferences this week. Your parents filled out this Google form for the time that they wanted. And then so whatever time that they chose is when they're going to come to parent conferences, okay? To get to their parent conference, it's on Zoom. It's just going to be a Zoom meeting. I'm not going to be calling them. It's not going to be in person. It's on Zoom. So they're going to go to the same Zoom meeting that you guys go to. So whatever way you guys get to the Zoom meeting, have your parent, teach your parents how to get there. So you could do, you could go to our website. And then if you click, I am a student. And then here's the Zoom link right here. You can click there for the Zoom link. We have the Zoom links here. You can also click on the Zoom link here, Zoom link. And it says Zoom link, Zoom link, Zoom link, Zoom link, Zoom link, Zoom link. So lots of different places for you guys to get to the Zoom link. Also, it even says it in, actually, I think you can go it from here. So go to Google Classroom and yeah, you can just copy paste the Zoom link right here or put the meeting ID. Up to you guys. All right. All right. I did just hear a new student join. Let's see who it was. Perfect. All right. Make sure you guys are coming on time so I can mark you guys here. All right. All right. Let's continue on since it is already almost 9 o'clock. We have our ELA for today. We're starting a new unit. We're starting a unit 2 week 1. So what you guys are going to need is your reading writing workshop, which is your little book. So everyone, please go ahead and take out your little book, which is your reading writing workshop. It's going to look like this one. Reading writing workshop. Okay, take that book out. If you need more time, you can pause the video when you're watching it on YouTube. We're going to be turning to page 96 to read our big idea. Now, if you don't have your book, you can go to Google Classroom, click on the waffle, scroll all the way down. And then you're going to hit McGraw-Hill Education. It's this one right here, McGraw-Hill Education. Once you click McGraw-Hill Education, you're going to log in. And then you're going to click on our blue swordfish book. Now, once you're here, it's not going to tell you your little book, big book. It's just going to have the titles of the stories we're reading this week. So this week we're reading today, A Visit to the Desert. How do we know that this is the title of the story? Because it's underlined. The underlined words here, other than like where it says like workbook and stuff, this is going to be your story. It's going to be underlined and in quotation marks. How about that? Okay. So we're in our little book, we're reading A Visit to the Desert this week. So we need to find that story to get to that book. A Visit to the Desert. It's going to be the first one. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to make it so that you guys can only chat with the host. All right. So now that we're on the right book, we're not going to start with A Visit to the Desert. We need to go all the way back to page 96. So we're on page 102 right now. What I can do is I can click on these back arrows and it'll take me to page 96.
Unit 2, Animal Discoveries. The big idea. How do animals play a part in the world around us? Animals are amazing. Kittens mew and dogs play catch. Ducks and hens lay eggs to hatch. Animals are amazing. Bees make honey. Lambs give wool. Horses gallop. Oxen pull. Big game lions prowl and roar. Turtles crawl and eagles soar. Animals at work and play, all around me night and day. Animals are amazing. by Winifred Califano.
Now, let's see if I can actually find our video. Let's do, okay, so how do animals survive? Animal survival. Meerkats live in hot, dry places. Here are some ways they adapt to the heat. They live in underground burrows, they have thin fur, and they search for food in the early morning hours when it's cool. Now, before we move on, I actually want to show you guys a little video. I'm gonna have to go to my account for that.
Animals and nature. How do animals survive? Animals adapt to survive. Meerkats have adapted to living in hot places. They dig burrows that help them escape the heat. Camels have also adapted to living in hot, dry places. They can go days without drinking water. Their wide, tough feet help them walk across the hot sand without sinking. Some lizards have adapted to hot, dry places too. Like camels, they don't need to drink much water. Lizards are cold-blooded animals. After a cold night in the desert, this lizard needs the warmth of the sun to warm its body enough so it can move around and search for food.
All right. Now let's look at our vocabulary words. So we are on page 100 in your books. Now you're going to notice that these vocabulary words only have the picture and a sentence for each word and then like a question that goes with it. If you're looking for the definition, if you want to study your vocabulary words and the definitions of those vocabulary words, then what you need to do is you need to go, I need to go back to the regular Wonders site. You need to go to Connect Ed Online. And then you need to click on the button that says Words to Know. It's going to be this red button with the blue W toy block. Words to Know. That is going to give you guys your
Words to
vocabulary
know.
words and the definitions.
Adapt. The polar bear's thick fur coat helps it adapt to the icy water.
Then you're going to click on this button, Routine, and it'll give you the definition.
Adapt. When something has to adapt to a new place, it must become used to it. The polar bear's thick fur coat helps it adapt to the icy water. How do you adapt to cold weather? Climate. Tom lives in a hot and sunny climate.
Climate. The climate is the temperature and the amount of rain that is in a place. Climate. The climate is the temperature and the amount of rain that is in a place. Tom lives in a hot and sunny climate. What is the climate like where you live?
Eager. Mindy is eager to see her grandmother.
Eager. When you are eager, you want to do something very much. Eager. When you are eager, you want to do something very much. Mindy is eager to see her grandmother. What is something that you are eager to do?
Oops.
Freedom. Deer have the freedom to move about the open land.
Freedom. Freedom is being able to move about or act as one wants. Deer have the freedom to move about the open land. What animals are free to roam about the forest?
Fresh. The baker made fresh bread every day. Fresh. When something is fresh, it is new or not spoiled. The baker made fresh bread every day. What word means the opposite of fresh?
Could mean like spoiled or rotten.
Sense. Sense means a feeling you have about something. I felt a sense of pride when I won the race. When do you feel a sense of pride?
So a feeling you have about something. So here, I felt a sense of pride when I run the race. So he had this feeling of like happiness, and it's a certain feeling you have when you feel like you've done a really good job at something.
Shadows. We made animal shadows on the wall. Shadows. Shadows are dark shapes that are made when something is in front of a light. Shadows. Shadows are dark shapes that are made when something is in front of a light. We made animal shadows on the wall. What shadows can you make?
Silence. The baby needed silence to fall asleep. Silence. If there is silence, it is still and quiet. The baby needed silence to fall asleep. What word means the same as silence?
Quiet. All right, guys, that is the end of our vocabulary words. If you ever want to review them again on your own, you'll go to words to know. Go to words to know, okay? All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to turn the page and we're now going to look at our story, A Visit to the Desert.
Genre: realistic fiction. A Visit to the Desert.
How do animals survive? Read about how animals survive in a desert climate.
Tim was looking forward to this vacation. Then his parents told him the family would be visiting Grandma in Nevada. Tim was unhappy. He wanted to be with his friends this summer. Grandma is eager to see you, Mom said. She can't wait to take you on a desert hike. The next morning, Grandma met them at the airport. Then they drove to the desert. As they hiked, Grandma explained that animals enjoy the open desert space. It gives them the freedom to move from place to place. Tim learned that the animals find ways to adapt to the hot desert weather. He wondered if he could get used to the desert climate. Wow, Tim said, look at that. The turtle carries its home on its back. Grandma smiled at Tim's excitement. Actually, she said, that is a desert tortoise. It looks for the shade made by the shadows of rocks. That's how it cools off. He burrows underground to get away from the heat. The tortoise disappeared into its burrow. Tim leaned over the hole. He could not hear a sound. I'll bet it likes the silence of its burrow, Tim whispered. I think it likes its sense of safety, too, Grandma added. That's the same feeling I get at home, Tim sighed. Just then, a large rabbit hopped by. Grandma explained that the jackrabbit's large ears help it stay cool. These animals are so unlike the animals at home, Tim said. He had forgotten about the desert heat. Some animals stay cool by sleeping during the day. Then they hunt at night, said Grandma. A great horned owl hooted above them. Grandma said, "It will soon be time for the owl to hunt."
Which means it's time for us to head back, Dad added. This vacation is going by too fast, Tim said. They asked Tim about the heat. What heat? Tim asked. I feel as fresh and cool as a new flower. I've adapted. Everyone laughed. So at the beginning of the story, he does not want to go to the desert because he wants to be at home with his friends. But at the end of the story, he loves it and he wants to stay there instead of going back home. All right, guys, in that story, you're going to notice a few things. Our question for this week was, how do animals survive? And this story talked about how animals survive in the desert climate. Our genre for this week, all of our stories are going to be realistic fiction. It's going to be fake, made up stories that could happen in real life. There could be a boy named Tim that goes to the desert. These are all realistic things that he could do and he could see. There's also your vocabulary words that are highlighted in yellow as well. All right, guys, what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to our Your Turn practice workbook pages, 51 and page 52. So you guys are going to need to take out your Turn books now. Your Turn book is going to be your floppy book that looks like this. On the front cover, it's going to be blue with your swordfish, and it's going to say Your Turn practice book. Pause the video if needed so that you can find this book. Now, if you don't have your book on you for some reason, you're going to go to Miss Park's Google Classroom, and then you are going to go to classwork, scroll down to ELA, and then it's going to be the third one in the ELA from the bottom. It's going to say Your Turn workbook pages. Your Turn workbook pages, and then yours will say your name on it. Go ahead and do that now. Find that. We're on page 51. Page 51 of your Turn book. So here we are right here, page 51. All right. Now, if you guys decide to do this on your own, you want to work on it on your own, what you can do is you guys can check your answers by going to Google Classroom, going to classwork, and then going to your CRC Your Turn and Answer pages for ELA. If you click on this link where it says Your Turn Answers, you're going to see all the answers for every single page. Now, you are going to need to do a little bit of skimming through it unless you download the book. Then it might be a little bit easier because I don't think you can actually change this. So over here it is. So if you're interested in knowing any of the answers you got right or wrong, this Your Turn Answers book is going to show you all of the correct answers. Now, I don't want you guys to just copy it. I want you guys to try it on your own and then check this for your mistakes. If you made any mistakes, then you can correct them. All right. So let's see. We've got use what you know about the words of the sentences to choose the word that makes sense in each blank. Then write the word on the line. So my sister is excited and blank to learn about polar bears. Go ahead and type it in the chat. What do you guys think is the correct answer? I'm still getting people who need to know the page. We're on page 51 of your Turn. Page 51. My sister is excited and eager. Very good, guys. Eager to learn about polar bears. What you can do is you can cross out eager because we used it. The quiet blank ended when birds began to chirp. The quiet what? Very good, Sierra. The quiet silence ended when the birds began to chirp. Number 3, desert animals must blink to hot, dry weather. Very good, Ray. Adapt. Number 4, the air feels cool in the dark blink under the trees. Very good. Shadows. Thank you, Ray and Russell and Ava. The air feels cool in the dark shadows under the trees. Thank you, Lucas. The eagle has the blink to fly where it wants. Very good. Freedom. Thank you, guys. Freedom. We're almost done. A rainforest has a warm, wet, very good, climate. If it's blurry, you can just listen for now, and then you can look at the answers later in that your turn book. Next one, the air outside felt blank and clean. Fresh. So we only have one more answer left, which is sense. So the last one should make sense to put sense. Let's make sure. A wild animal run away if it feels a sense of danger. A wild animal will run away if it feels a sense of danger. Now, if you're not sure if these are correct, you can go to Google Classroom, go to classwork, go to your turn, scroll all the way down. Not all the way. It's page 51. Right here. Eager, silence, adapt, shadows, freedom, climate, fresh, sense. Very good. So if you need more time, you can watch this on on YouTube, and then pause the video. Okay. All right, moving on. Page 52 now. We're on page 52, guys. I'll write down the page number here. This is page 52. Okay, the letter O can stand for the short O sound that you hear in not. So let's sound out not. N, ah, t, n, ah, t. So the short O sound makes the sound. Say that with me. Is the short O sound. The long O sound you hear in note can be spelled O consonant E. That blank is for a consonant. If you don't know your consonants, they're like B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Z. Your vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Okay, so the long O sound you hear in notes can be spelled O consonant E. So the consonant in note is the T. N, O, T. So what happens is, because it's O consonant E, the E becomes silent. And then the last sound you hear when you sound it out is going to be the final, is the consonant before the E. And then the O is going to not be ah, it's not going to be not, it's going to be O. So n, O, and then make the t sound. N, O, t. Instead of not, the short O, n, ah, t, it's going to be n, O, t, because of that E right there. That E is going to help your consonant be long, and then you're going to just sound out it's going to help your O be long, and then it's going to sound out the last consonant before the E. Okay, let's try it. Read each word. Circle the words with the short O sound. Underline the words with the long O sound. So box, is that short or long? Put S if you think it's short, put long if you think it's long. Very good, Russell and Lucas. Ava, Ray, box. It's going to be short. Box. What about nose? Is it S for short, L for long? O. Very good. Long. Rope. O. The E is silent. Long. Lock. O. Very good. Short. O. The is short. Pot. T. Short. Cone. O-N. You know, because there'll be that E at the end. Long. Dog. D-A-G. Short. Home. O-N. Long. Very good. Now we're going to be looking at another skill. Before adding ed or ing to some verbs with short vowels, double the final consonant before adding ed or ing. To some words with long vowels ending in e, drop the final e. So add ed and ing to the ending of each verb, write the two new words. So here we're going to write saved. So we're going to drop that final E so that it's not like this. It's not two E's. We just have one. So drop the final E to make S-A-V and then E-D. S-A-V, drop the final E for I-N-G. Trip, T-R-I. Sometimes you're going to do a double P. So some verbs with short vowels double the final consonant. So let's write it 2 times. P-P-E-D. Tripping. T-R-I. Okay, Kendall and Eva, please do not type in the chat right now because you guys are being distracted. So Kendall and Eva, no more typing in the chat. The reason, Kendall, why people are typing in the chat and Nathan and Eva is because they were writing what I was asking them to. So right now, Kendall, Eva, and Nathan, don't type in the chat unless you have a question for me. Okay, we're going to do double P-I-N-G. Same thing with hug. This G, this consonant, we're going to double it. H-U-G-G, end it with E-D. Same thing with hugging. H-U-G-G-I-N-G. Joke. It ends with that E. We're going to drop the E, add E-D. Joke. Drop the E, add ED. So there's not 2 E's. Joking, drop the E, add ING. Okay, let's check if our work is correct. Box, lock, pot, dog, nose, robe, cone, home. They all end with that E. Saved, saving, tripped, tripping, hugged, hugging, joked, joking. If you ever need help or if you need to double check your work, you can always watch this YouTube video later, or you can just look at the answers here. Your turn answers are in Google Classroom already for you. The last thing we've got today is our 5 things, guys. So let's go ahead and do all of our 5 things together right now. The first thing you need to do is your practice spelling test. You're going to click on the link for your practice spelling test. Again, click on the link for your practice spelling test. You're going to know that it's your spelling words because it's going to say SP. Just exit out of that box. SP means spelling. It also says spelling here. There's also going to be 15 words. You're going to take a spelling test with your SP words.
Get ready for the test. Don't take out your list. Begin.
Box. We will box the punching bag for exercise.
Box.
Fox. A sly red fox with a bushy tail is in the woods.
Ox. Fox.
Dog.
My dog likes to bark and bury her bone.
D-A-G. Dog.
Lock. I turn the key in the lock to open the door.
So lock, the CK is going to make the K sound. So you need both the C and the K. Lock.
Pot. I cook the soup in a pot on the stove.
Ot.
Cone. My party hat is shaped like a cone.
Ooh, it's a long vowel. So K, O, and then you need the N sound, but you need to put an E to make sure that the O is a long O sound.
Home. My home is the blue house.
Home, long O. O, you have that N sound, but you need the E to make sure that your O is a long vowel.
Nose.
I cannot smell very well with a stuffy nose.
O, Because the O is a long O sound, you need an E at the end. Nose.
Poke. I felt a poke on my arm as he prodded me.
O. You need an E at the end because the O is a long O sound.
Rope. I used a rope to tie my boat to the dock.
O. You need the E at the end because it's the long O sound.
Side. The player sat out on the side of the field.
That's just, I believe from last week. You need you need an E because the I is a long I sound.
Line. He drew a straight line using a ruler.
You need the E because the I is a long I sound, and you need that E to make the long I sound.
Have.
We have our very own treehouse in our yard.
Now, this one is a little bit tricky. It is not have. It is not have. However, this is going to be called like a sight word. What I mean by a sight word means like you just need to memorize it. So like words like have, you just need to memorize that even though the A is a short A sound, it's going to have an E at the end, and the E will be silent. So have, H-A-V-E. Sight word, you just have to memorize that.
Off.
Turn off the television when the show is over.
Here's another sight word. You just need to memorize it. O-F-F. When you're turning something off, that's going to be a double F. O-F would be of, and it makes like a different sound. Those are all called sight words. They're words that there isn't really necessarily a rule to follow. It's just something that you need to memorize.
Took. We took them to the zoo last weekend.
Same thing, a sight word. You need two O's to make the sound. Took.
Check your words below. When they all look right, hit done.
My home is the blue.
You got 15 out of 15 on your first try. That's 100%. Great work.
Now, once you're done with your spelling, if you want to play a game, you can click on that play game button. Now, you need to make sure that you are playing spelling games for your spelling words. Now, if you're like, well, Miss Park, I just want to play all these other games. Like I want to play the syllables with silly bulls. That's fine. Miss Park, I want to play rhyme and climb. That's fine. You can play those games after you get 100% on your spelling tests. I want you to play these spelling games. So you're going to go down here and click spelling. And I want you to practice these spelling games first before you play all those other games, because these games are going to help you guys make sure you get 100%. Once you get 100% on your spelling test, then yeah, feel free to play the other games. Just remember that you don't have access to premium games. They are going to cost money. And so don't play anything that's going to make you pay money. Okay. Now, once you're done, you're going to exit out. And then now we're going to move on to vocabulary. You're going to click on this second link. You're going to open it up. You need to make sure you click on the right links. You know, this is vocabulary because it's going to say VOC. It's also going to say vocabulary down here. And it's also only going to have 8 words. And they're going to match with your words to know words. I'm going to click my vocabulary test. You guys could be following along and doing these with me if you'd like.
Get ready for the test. Don't peek at your list. Begin.
Choose the word that's being defined.
To adjust to new or changed conditions.
To adjust to new or changed conditions. Kind of like it was really hot in the desert, but at the end of the story, our friend couldn't feel it because he adapted. He adjusted and he was able to change so that it didn't feel so hot.
Adapt.
Average state of weather in a time or place.
The average state of weather. So for example, in California, Southern California, the climate is pretty warm and sunny.
Climate.
Excited or enthusiastic.
You guys helped me with this one earlier. You're eager.
Eager.
When you're excited about something, you're enthusiastic, you're eager. Like you might be eager someone might be eager for their birthday that's coming up tomorrow.
Absence of coercion or restriction.
So if absence of coercion or restriction means freedom. So the absence of coercion or restriction means like you're not restricted. For example, I might say, don't go on that website. It's restricted. It's off limits. Or you might say, or you guys might go to school and it's, or to the store and they say, you must wear a mask. You're restricted from taking off your mask and hugging everybody and not washing your hands. Okay, you need to make sure you do that. So when there are no restrictions, when it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want, you can play any game you want, you're done with your work, you can play games, you have the freedom to do whatever.
Freedom.
I'll answer the questions at the end.
Having its original qualities untainted.
Yes, you can. Go ahead and mute yourselves, guys, okay? You need to write
Adapt.
everything in the chat. Okay, remember, for bathrooms, guys, you don't need to unmute yourself. You put it in the chat. You say, Miss Parker, I'm going to the bathroom. And then after you come back, you type in the chat, I'm back, okay? Let's read it again.
Having its original qualities untainted.
So if it's having its original qualities untainted, I believe it's fresh. So imagine like you go to the store and you see an apple. That's its original quality. It's fresh, it's red, that's how it looks like. Now, if you wait a month to eat that apple, it's not going to look like how it originally did when you bought it at the store. It's going to be spoiled, it might be rotten. Okay? So when something is fresh, then it has its original qualities and it's untainted. It's still perfect. It's still fresh.
One of 5 ways the body perceives the world.
So one of 5 ways the body perceives the world, that is going to be your sense. So think of your 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, hearing, and seeing. Those are your 5 senses. You can hear something, 1, touch something, 2, see something, 3, smell something, 4, and taste something, 5. Those are your senses. So if you have a sense of pride, I guess that's like more of a feeling, but yeah, like that's a way that you perceive the world as well. So maybe you see something, like you see yourself winning, and then you feel that sense of pride. It's a feeling that you have.
Dark silhouettes formed by blockage of light.
Shadows. If you're outside, if you're in the dark, put a flashlight and you put your hands in front of the flashlights, you'll see like movement.
Absence of sound.
Silence.
You found the correct definition for 8 out of 8 words. That's 100%. Good job.
All right. Once you're done, you can click on the arrow. If you want, you can play a game. Remember, if you're not getting 100% on your vocabulary words, then play the vocabulary games for your vocabulary words. Click on vocabulary, and then here are the different vocabulary games. There aren't as many as the spelling because there's just a little more you can do with spelling games than vocabulary. All right. Next, what we're going to be doing is grammar and mechanics in ELA Connect Ed McGraw-Hill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to games. You're going to go to Connect Ed. If you forgot how to get to Connect Ed, you go to your waffle, click on McGraw-Hill Education. Go to games, orange button with the controller. Games. We're going to play grammar and mechanics today. Grammar and mechanics. So I'm going to click on grammar first. Underline all of the nouns in each sentence, then highlight any nouns that is a person. So, my grandpa walks our dog to the park. Nouns are persons, places, and things. So my grandpa is a noun, walks our dog, a dog is a noun, to the park. A park is a place. My sister is a person, is outside. our cat it's considered, it's not a person, it's considered an animal, which is a thing. So that's why I say a thing. In his box, a box is a thing. His brother is a person, is in my room, that's a place.
That's not correct. Try again.
Uh-oh, I didn't follow the directions. What does it say? Underline all of the nouns, then highlight any noun that is a person. So let's highlight the ones that are per people. Grandpa, sister, brother. So do you guys see how you have to make sure you follow the directions? Let's do the next one. My mother, person, smiled at the cat, thing. Grant's grandma, person, gave his pet, thing, some water, thing. The dog, thing, ate from the bowl, thing, in the kitchen, place. The wolf, thing, lives in the forest, place. Highlight all the people. Mother is a person, Grant's grandma is a person. I think that's it.
Not quite. Keep trying.
All right. Let's go. Oh, so now I'm not able to try again. So all it does is shows my answer. So even though it's Grant's grandma, the person, the noun is grandma. So you didn't need to highlight Grant or underline Grant. You just needed to highlight and underline grandma. Now we can click on next. Underline all of the nouns in each sentence, then highlight any noun that is a person. The doctor, person, helps the animals, thing. The farmer, person, checks the animals, thing, in the barn, place. Doctor and farmer are people.
Good job.
All right, so that's what you're supposed to do for nouns. Let's now move on to for grammar. Well, nouns for grammar. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna play our mechanics game. Find the errors. Select the words that need to be changed or that needs punctuation after it. Then choose the proofreading symbol that will fix the error. So for mechanics this week, we're working on commas in a series. Tim, comma, Jim, comma, and Sue wrote a report on animals.
Great job.
Dogs, comma, cats, comma, and squirrels all have fur. You are going to highlight the word that's going to have the comma after it.
Good job.
A bell warns mice, comma, birds, comma. Okay, 1 second. I'm in the middle of recording, okay? You got to keep yourself muted. Okay. But mice, comma, birds, comma, and other small animals that a cat is near.
Good job.
Sue's favorite animals were dogs, comma, birds, comma, and cats.
Great job.
Bats live in caves, comma, barns, comma, and hollow trees.
Excellent work.
These animals live in the lakes, comma, ponds, comma, and streams.
Fantastic.
Squirrels can eat corn, comma, nuts, comma, and birdseed.
Excellent work.
Squirrels, comma, chipmunks, comma, and rabbits live near me.
Good job.
Birds, comma, bugs, comma, and bats can fly.
Excellent work.
And then the last one, it collected straw, comma, grass, comma, and string for its nest.
Fantastic.
All right, guys. So that is it for grammar and mechanics. The final thing, oh, I'm so sorry. You guys you didn't even see it. So let's see if I can go back. Sorry, guys. So Tim, comma, Jim, comma, and Sue, dogs, comma, cats, comma, and squirrels, mice, comma, birds, comma, and other small animals, dogs, comma, birds, comma, and cats. You guys actually will probably need me to show you how to do it. So let me do that again. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you guys. Okay, so what you're doing is if it already has a comma in front of the name, in front, after the name, then you don't need to do anything. You just need to put where the commas need to go. So Jim needs a comma.
Good job.
So for this one, there aren't any commas. So you're going to click on dogs. There needs to be a comma after dogs. Cats, there needs to be a comma after cats.
Good job.
Okay, a bell, comma, warns mice. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't need a comma there. So let's undo it. So I'm going to click on it and then click undo. A bell warns mice, comma, birds, comma, and other small animals.
Fantastic.
All right. Okay, the last thing is going to be your selfie writing, guys. So let's quickly go over your selfie writing for unit for this week, which is going to start on October 11th. So for your selfie writing, you're going to go to Google Classroom. You're going to scroll all the way down to the second bottom row in ELA. It's going to say selfie writing. One is going to be the YouTube video. One is going to be your selfie writing. Open that up right now so that you guys can follow along with me. All right. So you're going to look for today's date, which is Monday, October 11th. So this was last week, October 4th. Now we're doing October 11th. During fall, I love to blank. We are in fall now. So what you can do is you can insert a photo here. And I'm going to take a picture of myself. I'm going to raise my hand because it's like there's leaves. And then I'm going to insert it. You guys can actually take it with your camera. Oh yeah, you can actually take it like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my photo. I'm going to take my picture. Oops, wrong way. I'm gonna go like, and then, oh wait, I want to hold it like this. Okay, so I got my picture. I'm gonna insert it. There we go. Look how fun that is. All right, so that is one option of what you guys can do. You can crop the picture. I'm gonna make like a little cloud. By doing that, you click on the mask images. I might do like a heart. I'll do a heart today. Oh, that's a lightning bolt. There we go. So there we go. So there's my little heart I chose. You can do whatever you want. And then now I'm going to start typing. So I'm going to write bigger because I want you guys to be able to see it. And I'm going to change it to Century Gothic font. And I'm going to write. Now, because this is a paragraph, you need to indent by either clicking tab on your keyboard or pressing the space bar 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. During fall, comma, I love to, carve pumpkins. That's always super fun. I just got some pumpkins and I'm going to be carving. Maybe I'll take a picture of them and I'll show you guys what I make. So during fall, I love to carve pumpkins. First, I'm going to use sequence words. First, comma, I go to the store and buy, and then I'm going to use words in a series. Buy pumpkins, carving tools, and let's just say, I don't know, let's pick one more so it's words in a series. First, I go to the store and buy pumpkins, carving tools, and candles. Next, I take out all the seeds from my pumpkin. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so it fits in there. Then I start carving my design into the pumpkin. Last, I put the candle in and leave my pumpkin outside. And then I'm gonna do a conclusion. Make it a little bit smaller so it all fits. Finally, so instead of writing in conclusion, I'm gonna write finally. Finally, I enjoy, or my neighbors and I enjoy my pumpkin during the fall. So let's see how many sentences I wrote. During fall, I love to carve pumpkins. 1. First, I go to the store and buy pumpkins, carving tools, and candles. I did words in a series. I used commas. That's 2 sentences now. Next, comma, I take out all the seeds from my pumpkin. 3 sentences. Then, comma, I start carving my design into the pumpkin. 4 sentences. Last, I put the candle in and leave my pumpkin outside. 5 sentences. Finally, my neighbors and I enjoy my pumpkin during fall. Or I can write during the fall, and then I don't need to uppercase it during the fall. Okay? You could even say like, that is something I love to do during the fall. That can be your conclusion as well. Now, did I have a beginning, a middle, and an end? Yes. Did I use sequence words? Yes. Did I use words in a series? Yes. Did I add commas? Yes. Did I add 4 to 6 sentences? Yes. Does anyone remember? Can anyone type in the chat? How many sentences? I will answer all the questions in the chat, but right now, how many sentences did I write in this paragraph? No, well, you're right. I have to write 4 to 6, but how many did I actually write in mine? Some of you are saying 4 or 5. Nope, those are wrong. Let's read it again. During fall, I love to carve pumpkins, period. 1, first I go to the store and buy pumpkins, carving tools, and candles. 2, next, I take out all the seeds from my pumpkin. 3, then I start carving my design into the pumpkins. 4, last, I put the candle in and leave my pumpkin outside. 5, finally, my neighbors and I enjoy my pumpkin during the fall. 6, very good. Lucas, Russell, Sierra, Ray, Malin, Angelica, Kayla, Ava, thank you. 6 is the correct answer. 6. So you only need to write 4 to 6 sentences. You can write more than that as well, but you should not be writing less. If you write 1 sentence, that is not okay. During fall, I love to carve pumpkins. If you write just that, that is not okay. Your selfie writing needs to be paragraphs. So you need to be doing as best as you can. Okay, write 4 to 6 sentences, not 1, not 2, not even 3, 4 to 6 or more. All right, that is it, guys, for today. If you guys have any questions, you guys can stay. I see a lot of you guys have questions about parent conferences, so I am going to stay and answer all of those. If not, you guys, if anything you have not done, you're going to complete, and then I will see you guys at math at 10:15.